work with families who have children under 6 years old. I'm a gentle, no-cry sleep consultant, which means I don't advise families to leave their child to cry it out. And if we can avoid doing any sleep training, then we will. In today's mini-masterclass, we're looking at why your child wakes so many times. How many times does your child wake during the night? 2 times? 4 times? 8 times? Or who the heck knows? You try not to count. We want to first take a look at what is normal when it comes to children's sleep. When your child is a newborn, they need to wake many times throughout the night because they need to feed so often. And this is completely normal. Your newborn's tummy is tiny and won't fit much milk in. The milk is then digested pretty quickly and their tummy needs filling again. If you're breastfeeding, all these feeds will help establish your milk supply. And this is actually a good thing. There is also no weight, height, age, magical number, or anything scientific to show when a child no longer needs to feed during the night. Some children are 3 months old. Some children are over a year or 2 before they no longer need to feed during the night. Just because some can does not mean that all can. Let's look at other developmental stages. Some children are walking at 7 months old. Others are over 18 months old before they start walking. This is a huge normal range to start walking. We don't send our 8-month-olds to a physical therapist because they're not walking. Anyway, let's move on. We all seem to have the goal of no night wake-ups, but that's not realistic. We all wake during the night. Up to 10 times is quite normal. So waking up is not an issue. Falling back asleep is more likely to be the issue here. If your child needs help getting to sleep at the beginning of the night, they're more likely to need help falling back asleep when they naturally wake. That could be up to 10 times a night. And that's a lot of times that your sleep is being disturbed. Don't worry about your newborn here. It can be impossible to keep them awake when they're feeding. But as your child gets older, if the only way they can fall asleep is by feeding, they're more likely to need that during the night. Also remember, if you're happy about how your child is sleeping and they're sleeping safely, there is nothing to change. Lots of families find safe bed sharing is a great way to manage breastfeeding throughout the night. How do we determine when your child is waking hungry or just coming to the end of a sleep cycle? Of course, you can look at when they last fed, but what happens when they're going through a growth spurt? Then they're going to need more night feeds. Or if they didn't get as much milk during the day, they'll make up for that missed milk by waking during the night. So that's not really the best way to determine whether they're hungry or not. Now, depending on your child's sleep personality, you may be able to move away from feeding to sleep quite easily without any sleep training. To avoid your child falling asleep whilst you're feeding before bed, you could try to feed at the beginning of your night routine. Go through your routine, feeding a little at the end, and this is just a top-up, and your child is less likely to fall asleep. You can then try holding them or even rocking them to sleep. The feed will help them get nice and relaxed, and you may be able to help them fall asleep without the feed. When your child has got used to this, which may take a week or more, you can try rocking or holding them back to sleep when they wake during the night. If they settle to sleep, great. If they don't, you can always feed them. You don't have to try for hours and hours. If your child is very upset, just feed them. Or if you're rocking for a long time, now you decide how long is a long time. You know you and you know your child better than anyone. You can always just feed them. Now, of course, you can do some sleep training to teach your child the skills to get themselves to sleep. I favour gentle no-cry methods where you're slowly getting less involved as the nights go by. This is the technique that we use in Slumber Academy, slowly and gradually getting you less and less involved and your child falling asleep more independently. When you can get started with some sleep training depends on your child's sleep personality. If your child is laid back, you can get started when they're 4 months old. Most families will wait until after the 4-month sleep regression. If your child has a shy sleep personality or an intense sleep personality, you'll want to wait until they're over 6 months old to get started. You can find the link to my sleep personality quiz below. And if you'd like me to show you how to do the Mickey method, check out Slumber Academy. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next Mini-Masterclass.